From the Smith Center in Chapel Hill, this is TargetIllustrated.com, and if you're watching on our YouTube channel, Target Illustrated, I'm THI staff writer Jacob Turner, and joining me as he always does following a Carolina football or basketball game, our very own publisher, Andrew Jones. And Andrew, we saw Carolina win tonight. Carolina picked up the victory over Syracuse, 81-75 on this court right here behind us. Pretty hard-fought game for Carolina. They left it late, ended up pulling away late and getting the victory, but saw a really good game tonight. First thing I want to talk about, though, AJ, Garrison Brooks, Armando Bacot, saw two veteran guys kind of step up. I know Armando's only a sophomore, but in my eyes, when you kind of look at this team, he's a veteran. When you consider how much he's played in his year and a half or so at Carolina, come out for 31 points tonight. Really good outing for them. We saw Garrison Brooks kind of look like that Garrison Brooks of old, at least in the first half. Didn't score in the second half, but still did some really positive things. Yeah, exactly. But overall, I think those two guys played a big part in Carolina getting the victory tonight.
Couple of teammates, we talked to four
tonight,
four including Garrison, and a couple of his teammates said, we need Garrison Brooks to be Garrison Brooks.
For sure.
And if you look at our 5 keys coming into the game, one of them was Garrison has got to, at some point, be Garrison Brooks again. Mm-hmm. It's not like he couldn't play the game anymore. It's not like 19 games averaging 19 points a game last season was an aberration. That's the player he was becoming. Just been a tough transition. It's been a tough adjustment for him with everything else going on. I think, as human nature can be sometimes, probably had some confidence issues, was struggling to fight through the cobwebs in the head about how to go out there and just play. And he said he had a conversation with his uncle and
his
AAU coach, and they said, just play with more energy, play harder, just be more vibrant. And we saw that early on tonight. Yeah. He had their first bucket. They had some, the fact that Carolina's first 3 entries against the zone were to Garrison, and he got 6 points, 2 field goals and 2 free throws, drew a foul on that one. So he was very productive from a scoring standpoint in the first half. In the second half, he didn't score as much, but his floor game, the guy that people saw the first 3 years here on the floor, especially the first 2 when he wasn't relied on to score, the guy that defended, the guy that meshed well with people, the guy that didn't set a lot of screens against the 2-3 zone. But all those things that he brought to the floor before, we saw that in the second half. I think he had, 3 steals and 2 blocks?
He was very active,
Very active. He was just all over the place. He was getting loose balls. He was just there. Armando didn't produce a ton in the first half, but was outstanding in the second half. It was R.J. Davis and Leakey said, look, when our bigs can carry us a long way. And by the way, this is not a night when Day'Ron Sharp picked up foul trouble in the first half. Only had 8 points. Wasn't fully involved a whole lot.
Had a stretch where he was really good, but overall,
Yeah, the front line, when Garrison is plugged in the way he was tonight, and he'll admit that it was being more plugged in. He said that. Watch the interview here on our channel. When he's like that and Armando plays like this, and if Day'Ron doesn't have foul trouble, there aren't many teams in college basketball that have a better front line. They won the game because of what those guys were able to do.
Exactly.
There are a lot of other things that were kind of okay for a while and not okay for a while, but man, if you can get those bigs the ball in positions to score, even if they don't shoot a higher percentage, and Garrison and Armando were just 12 for 25, you want your bigs to be a higher percentage from that, especially with so many point-blank shots. They still rebound their own misses, which will feed into our next point.
Exactly.
That we'll get to in a second. But Garrison look like Garrison tonight, and Carolina fans have to feel real good about it because he articulated that as well. He was very open about it. So it wasn't like, oh, I just played well and this is who I am, it just happened to play well tonight. He understands that some things had to change, and he changed them, and we saw the result of that tonight.
Exactly. A little perfect segue to what I wanted to talk about next. You talk about a lot about the bigs. I mean, Carolina out-rebounded Syracuse tonight, and that was a major reason why they were able to get the victory. I'll let you run through some of the final stats, but I think it was like 11-4 second chance points for Carolina at halftime. So that kind of showcased how dominant a lot of those came to the boards, especially. And then there was stretches in the second half, in particular the one I mentioned with Day'Ron Sharp, where he had a couple big rebounds down low. Armando Bacot towards the end of the game, getting boards and going back up and finishing plays. So I think that is what we've come accustomed to seeing with Carolina basketball, and helping them get the dub tonight.
24 second chance points. And that's
pretty good.
I've written a few things about it. There was a stretch certainly where they weren't even getting a point per offensive rebound. You want to at least average a point per offensive rebound. They've been getting a ton of offensive rebounds. They just haven't been converting at the rate they need to.
Exactly.
They did that enough tonight, certainly, because they won the game. So a lot of the points that they weren't getting because they didn't shoot well from the perimeter and that kind of thing, they were able to get on second chance points. Garrison and Armando, a huge part of that. Dayron had some of that as well. They 48-31 on the glass, 24-10 on the offensive glass, 24-4 second chance points. So for a team that lost earlier in the year when it was giving up a ton of points off of turnovers, and there was a huge discrepancy there, you saw tonight one of their greatest strengths, perhaps their greatest attribute, rebounding the basketball, rebounding their own misses, became a weapon for them. 24 second chance points is going to give you a chance to win every game you play, even when you're 5 for 24 from three-point range like they were tonight. So that's a huge, huge plus for this team. And they did, and, I know that zone teams, people say you play a zone, you're not going to be a great rebounding team. This was a decent Syracuse rebounding team coming in, but they didn't have great size inside, and Carolina was able to use that to its advantage. So you know what? If you're better than a team at doing something, do it. Smart. Go to it and do it. That's smart. Don't make it more difficult than it needs to be. So kudos to Carolina for actually doing the Hoops 101 thing, playing to their strengths tonight. Getting the bigs the ball inside, and they scored, and using that rebounding attribute that they have, certainly the advantage they have, to their advantage, and that they rode that to the win. Yeah, exactly. The last thing I want to touch on, I think we need to touch on it, Leaky Black. I thought defensively, especially in that second half against Buddy Boeheim, was exceptional. Somebody asked Garrison Brooks about it. I think it was Garrison Brooks during the press conference afterwards, and he kind of said what changed. He said Leaky Black just started playing like the best defender in the ACC. We've seen a lot of players, even Roy's mentioned that he thinks that Leaky can be one of, if not, exactly, if not the best defender in the ACC. And when he's on, man, I mean, his length, his athleticism, he's tough to get by, and I think we saw that tonight. Well, and he's smart. Yeah, exactly. He anticipates really well. Leaky's the kind of guy that if you just watch him, the stat sheet may not wow you a whole lot. The jumper may not wow you a whole lot, but there's so many other aspects of the game. And Leaky is a cerebral player. He's a guy that fully understands the game, studies the game. He sees what's going on. I don't think anything's too fast for him. The guy who played 7 games at the point last year was on the ball. The last possession in Miami, he found Andrew. Andrew got the bucket. He was on the ball some late tonight. He could do so many things well for him. But what he did with Boeheim was impressive. Boeheim had 18 points in the first half. Now, Roy said Boeheim's one of the best perimeter shooters in the country, and he is. Yeah, definitely. He was 7 for 12 from the first half, 4 for 7 from 3. He didn't score in the second half, but it wasn't that he missed a bunch of shots, that Leaky was contesting everything. What did Roy say after Iowa? Remember when Iowa hit a crap load of threes against this team and just shredded them? And we were all asking Roy about the perimeter defense, and he said, look, guys, it's not a matter of getting in their face and contesting everything. Don't let them get the ball. Don't let them get those shots. Don't let them get those skip passes. Well, Boeheim attempted 3 shots in the second half tonight. And they needed a lot of threes because they were down. They took a lot of threes. He only attempted 3. That's a credit to Leaky for not letting him get those shots. The best way to keep a scorer from scoring, don't let him get the ball. Exactly. You get a power hitter up there, don't groove one over the plate. Exactly. He may hit a curveball out, you tip your cap and then go on. If you don't groove it over the plate, and for Leaky, you don't let Boeheim get the ball where he can square and shoot. He did that in the second half tonight, and as much as Garrison and Armando scoring, as much as the rebounding and second chance points, that was another key element for why they won this game. Perfect way to end it. AJ Carolina getting the victory tonight, 81-75 over Syracuse in Chapel Hill here in the Smith Center. That's going to do it for us tonight, AJ. As always, man, enjoyed talking to you after the game. In person. I know, right? It's crazy. First time we've seen each other since Notre Dame. I'm not going to lie, man. It took some adjusting getting used to, when we started this video. I was like, this is weird, man. This is my first time in the Dean Dome since the opener, because both previous home games I was in Miami covering football. I was at the last one. This is my second time in this building since the presser before the Duke game to close the regular season last year, because all of our pressers are on Zoom right now. It's crazy, man. It really is. We have not been in this building very much. It's just bizarre beyond words, how words can describe. Yeah, and I'll tell you what, man, an empty Smith Center during a Carolina basketball game, you never get used to that. It's weird, man. And by the way, that's weird. Caleb Lowe back there working out. If you hear a ball bounce, that's Caleb. He's shooting around. Caleb Lowe put some shots up after the game. Hold on, it's 12:18. Yeah. Caleb Love's shooting around right now. Yeah, past my bedtime for sure, AJ. Not mine. 5 a.m. tonight. Yeah, exactly. Got a lot of work to do. Exactly, guys. Well, thanks for watching, as always. I know there's going to be a lot of Carolina fans watching this, so if you enjoyed the win tonight, give our video a thumbs up below. Subscribe to our channel. Share it if you've enjoyed it. See you in the next one. Thanks, guys. Thanks.